Okay, it should be much better now. Should be much better now. Let me know, please, if you're still there. And it should not be as choppy as it used to be. Okay, so, and looks like I've got the sound on and so on. And my apologies that I have to restart my live stream. And thank you very much if you coming back. And looks like I lost you before, but anyway, let me see if people connected or not. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So David, Richard, so that's good. Again, please, my apologies, okay? What can you do? Sometimes just it is what it is. But subject of today's live stream, it's kind of important. Celso, good to see you. It's really important. Lots of people, they are trying to Google or try to search in the Google wood carving classes. And they put wood carving classes near me, okay? And unfortunately, you are getting results on the first page. Some woodworking schools, like, I don't know, 500 miles away, somewhere in Boston, somewhere maybe in California or Alabama, Indianapolis, Texas, Florida, and you live somewhere else. Like, one of the people I consider as a friend, he lives in Minnesota, and the only reason why I never met him in person, although he sends me videos all the time and over Facebook, and we communicate, but it's just too far, okay? It's just too far. And what I would like to mention today, Wolf, great to see you. What I would like to talk about today, advantages and maybe some cons in-person classes, or advantages and disadvantages of online classes. As you know, I love both, and I do teach in person and I teach online, schoolofwoodcarving.com. Both of those ways, in my opinion, really good, but they all different. Not all, but they are different. Okay. By the way, I'm gonna be teaching just about 1 month from now in Texas, in Austin School of Furniture, and I've got a couple spots left there yet. And it's filling really quickly. Just act now if you want to meet me, shake my hand. Gorgeous town of Austin. I shouldn't say town, it's a city. Austin, I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that the right way. Austin, Texas, but it's a gorgeous town. So now, let me tell you one thing. When you're taking class in person, there's some pros or some advantages versus online. One thing, we get together and we work on one project, and I can always come to you, or you can come to me, and I can hold your hand and I can explain personally, on a personal level, what needs to be done. Okay. Well, obviously, there are a lot of wood carvers in the world. They never took any class, and they can achieve really good results. But the only problem with that approach, when you don't have any instructions, or nobody was teaching you, you can develop your own style. And you can be proficient. You can call yourself a professional. For example, last year I was teaching in Texas, Austin, Texas, and one of the students, he actually a friend of mine. He is one of the best upright base makers, and he's a really good wood carver also. Okay, and he took my class in person. And he also a member of my school, by the way, a School of Wood Carving. And And one of the sessions I try to explain during in-person classes, it's designed for wood carving, which is not covered as much in books. There are some books, but not too many books talking about the design specifically for wood carving. There's nothing complex just to take a gouge and just poke, whatever the piece of wood you're working on. You can learn to carve wood in a week, no problem. You can just work on it. But principles of design, it can be really deep. So one of the students, what I was trying to tell you, I don't remember, maybe it was already day 4 or maybe even day 5, he asked me to look at his piece, and I'm trying to be really nice to people. And when I came and I looked at his piece, and he knows, if you're watching, so you know what I'm talking about. So I started to red mark. It wasn't red mark, it was pencil, but I just started to scratch, what's up with that line? Why is it not going this way? Why is it just stops right there? Why is it too long? And so many little details he never thought. It doesn't mean he doesn't know anything. No, he's a really good carver. But if nobody's pointed to those little details, he wouldn't even know. Okay, and that's important. And when I'm teaching in person, I can personally look at your piece, from different, points of view, from different angles, and I can just say, hey, you gotta fix this line, you have to fix that line, you have to move this direction, you have to move that direction, and explain all the principles of design, which is I'm teaching about 10 principles of design for wood carving. I do have online also the course about the design for wood carving. And and like I said, in person, I can come and I can talk to you and I can explain on a personal level, pointing you right on your piece what you're working on. This piece is actually one of the pieces we worked this year, well, not this year, last year, 2022. I forgot it's already 2023. It is Glenn Gibbons class, and this was in Maine. Okay, maincoastworkshops.com. William Brown, he's the owner of that school. We also have a few spots available. By the way, this year I'm going to be there also teaching at summer in June. So, and we worked on that. That is not done, and I'll explain why. Okay, I'm still filming it for online and so on. So, but those are projects what we worked on. First of all, I never repeat the project. For many years I'm teaching school and I never repeated any of them. Let me show you some of them. This one is another project we worked. This was also Maine Coast workshops in state of Maine and Camden. Beautiful town, beautiful town. But see, it's absolutely different style. Okay, I've got multiple stuff. This piece, a lot of people like that. This piece is I was teaching 2022 in Mark Adams School of Woodworking in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm gonna be there also multiple times this year. Just check my website, schoolofwoodcarving.com, and go to in person in menu, and you'll find the schedule. But look, that is just a 1 week project. Okay, so, and I think it's looking really good. Let me know in comments if you like it or not. Well, we did some other classes like grapes together with some kind of acanthus movement, which I also explained. You can actually incorporate lots of different styles and details at the same time. Let me actually show it to you a little closer. Okay, so those grapes right there. You know what? Let me show those oak leaves a little closer to you. Okay, those oak acorns and so on. it's in person. Okay, it's a class in person. There's another one. It's a hazelnuts. During the COVID, it's what we did. And I really enjoy. I've got multiple, okay? I've got multiple. I don't want to show you all of it. This was in Florida, Tampa School of Woodwork. We worked on it this year. Some grapes and so on. And it's nice, okay? It's beautiful. Always a good chance to shake a hand, to become a friend, and ask me any question right in person, okay? Really good. Also, one of the advantages in person, you can communicate with each other, okay? You like building community. Some of the people coming back all the time in my classes for many years, like 7 years in a row, and same people. It's just like family reunion sometimes. Okay. Like I said, instructions, level of instructions, community feel, and it's just like vacation. Okay, like vacation. Now, cons. Okay, I shouldn't say bad stuff about in person. But there are some cons. There are some problems. Well, number one, okay? Number one, I think for most of you normal people, the biggest problem is the cost. Okay, how much it costs. Just the class itself. Well, you have to understand school, woodworking school has to charge you because they have lots of expenses. Like insurances and so on, and they still have to make some money, also some income. And the average wood carving class costs close to $1,000. Okay, it is. I mean, if you do have some money you can invest in a class, I mean, in 1 week you can learn what would take you maybe a years. It's just like one person said. I mean, he was carving by himself, and it took him a long time to get it. But in 1 week, he got all the techniques and tips. But costs like $1,000. I mean, it could be from $900 all the way to over $1,000 per 5-day class. Number one. Second problem, money again. You have to get to that place. Like I started, when you Google wood carving classes near me, or wood carving workshops near me, or wood carving courses near me, the closest result's gonna be somewhere in Boston. Like I said, or Alabama, or California, or Indianapolis. And let's say if you live in Minnesota, or maybe in Oregon, or state of Washington, you still gotta pay for the travel. Okay, how much the ticket gonna cost you? Even if it's not as much, but still, I had a person from California taking class in Florida, and he spent only on air tickets like $1,000. Only on that. Plus, you have to do. You have to consider accommodations, staying. It's also expensive to pay for hotel and so on. It's another like $1,000 per week. Plus, you have to eat, and sometimes students get together and eat together, and it just gets more on top of what you already paid. By the end of the week, the total cost could be about $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Which is absolutely worth it. Okay, if you do have that type of money, it's absolutely worth it. Okay, it's a lifetime experience, in my opinion. Okay, now if you have income, or if you have some money that you can invest in that is good. Like if you have extra $4,000 or $5,000, that's okay. Now, what's the option? Okay, Google it. Wood carving classes near me. One of the results gonna be online school. It's always near you. Okay, it's pretty much in the comfort of your home. Those classes, you just get to computer and open up and just start learning. Let me explain why I think online classes a little bit better, in my opinion. Well, they're not replaceable. Okay, they are different. Okay, don't get me wrong, please. They are different. Number one, online classes, you have all of the video materials 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch, you can rewatch, you can polish your skills when you're watching online, and versus in person. First of all, we have only 5 days. Most of the classes I never film. I filmed only a couple times, and in 5 days the project you can work on is just that big. Okay, and that is another reason why almost none of them completely finished, because 5 days, especially for the complex project, it's not scratching wood. Most of the time we don't have enough time to finish it. It's a limitation of time. Online you don't have that limitation. The project not going to be limited by whatever the 14 inches by 8 inches. Okay, see, they're all about the same size, pretty much. They're all about the same. That's the most you can carve. Okay, when you work in person, I mean with me. So they're all about the same. Online you can work on a huge projects like those ones. I have, some of you do know, I mean, I do have some projects like this. The huge big ones are like the whole Venetian room. You watched me for 2 years, those videos, and I filmed the whole thing. I've got over 3,000 videos online, okay? I've got over 3,000 videos online at the schoolofwoodcarving.com, and I think it's advantage. Yes, you don't have a feel of community because you don't talk to others, but on another hand, when I'm carving, I don't want anybody distract me, because in class sometimes people trying to concentrate, but right behind, the guy right behind talks with somebody else, and it's just really destructive sometimes. It is what it is. I mean, I'm honest, my opinion about it, okay? So at home, nobody's going to distract you. Maybe your wife or children, or maybe grandchildren, or maybe great-grandchildren. It depends on your age. But you know what I'm talking about, right? So when you take in classes, wood carving classes online, nobody's gonna distract you. You have no limit on time and no limit on the size of the project you can work on. You can spend the whole year. It's not 5 days. You can spend 2 years on one project if you wish. Okay, and if you don't understand something, and I know, I mean, you gotta adjust your brain sometimes to understand the way I talk, and to adjust to my accent, which I'm keeping, by the way. But that's okay. I've got some people in my school from day number 1, okay? And they still members, and they still watching all the videos, and they adjusted to my style of talking and style of teaching. I'm not rushing anything. Now, in my school, I don't try to be a teacher, okay? Let me explain. I'm pretty much inviting you to my workshop, and I'm working on real projects. Well, now most of the real projects, but and some, stuff like this also. And I'm working on real pace, and I'm explaining what tool I'm grabbing, why I'm grabbing that tool, and why I'm using that tool, and so on. Maybe I'm not the best in entertaining, and I'm not trying to be entertainer, but I'm trying my best to just push that idea of wood carving from real life, okay? It's more like a virtual apprenticeship. I would call it. By the way, apprenticeship itself means learn by observing. I mean, hands of the master, hands of the whoever hired you as an apprentice. Okay, so in summary, in person has some advantages because the feel of community. You can ask me a question, I can just come to you and explain on a personal level. Online has its own advantages. Okay, no limit on time. You can work on the huge projects. And by the way, you can still ask me questions. Okay, ask me questions and I'll answer to you. It is better not to ask me like lots of online students do. They email me, and sometimes my emails, they just get lost. I have a filter and I'm not always getting those emails. It is better to comment, okay? And if you comment, I can see every comment, okay? I mean, I'm talking about right under the video, you can comment, and that way it's going to be much better. Okay, let me see. All right, so again, both of them, online classes and in-person classes are wood carving classes near me. Whatever the near means for you, they are good and have advantages and disadvantages. I hope it answers your question. I know that subject really important for some of you, because some of you actually asked me what's going to be better, to sign up online or just to take in person. Another advantage of the online school, cost. You don't have to buy an air ticket for $1,000 or $500. You don't have to pay $1,000 for 5 days. You don't have to stay in a hotel. You don't have to buy extra money, for just the food because it's not home. So you're saving about $5,000, I'd say. And the cost of the online classes is $20. Okay, and all of the material is available. Okay, now it's not really cost of the classes in my case. It's a non-profit school, and it's more like a membership fee, if you wish, and all the material is available. I'm not selling per se a product. Okay, it's just a membership, like in a church. You would just come, listen to all the sermons, our synagogue, and there is a membership. Okay. All right, I hope it answers your question. Let me see, maybe a couple questions right here. Marine Mike, my 11-year-old son sits and watches the classes with me because he loves your accent. Thank you. And also, Mike said, absolutely love your online class, as well as easy direct communication with you. Well, I'm trying my best, okay? I'm trying my best to communicate with you people. Like I said, yes, I can't come to you and really see from every angle, but you can always submit. There's a button, if you're a member of my school, submit your work at the end of the project. And I can examine it, and you can get certification. And please, don't get me wrong. I still think it's a good idea if you have plenty of money, or whatever, I shouldn't say that. If you have some money, you can invest in person. That's a good thing, just to meet. Nothing gonna replace internet. I mean, not the internet. Nothing gonna replace in-person experience when you shake my hand and you become like really a friend of mine. I mean, online, I know you see me, but I really don't see you. But in person, it's a personal relationship, okay? So you can take me to a restaurant, or I can take you to a restaurant, and we can sit and just to talk. Not just, that stuff, not just the wood carving stuff. We can talk about the children, grandchildren, and so on. You become a friend, okay? Thank you, wonderful. Okay, thank you, wonderful people. And that's it for today. I hope to catch you By the way, this is what I'm working on for online, and I'm continuing to polish it and make some changes on it. I don't do that every day. That is why it doesn't look like a lot of progress. But still, I mean, that is a Green Gibbons stuff, and I hope you love it. Okay, have a wonderful day. Or I should say, have a wonderful rest of your day or night. Go ahead and hug someone, say I love you. Okay, give a smile to someone. Be nice, okay, people, be nice, okay. Wood carvers are patient people. Have a good one.